The accordion block on Squarespace has a lot of use cases, and most popular is creating a frequently asked questions section. And in this video right here, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the accordion block on Squarespace, and also at the end, show you how you can create a FAQs section on your Squarespace website. So let's get into the video. At Squarespace, accordion block is this block right here. And when you add it in, you can see that it adds 3 different default items. So the first thing that you can do is, of course, click the editor button. And from here, you have the content section where you can change the content. So for example, let's do this as question 1, for example, and then the description would go there. And let's also make all of the other ones correct as well, Q2, and then finally Q3. Then inside the edit block, you also have the possibility to do some design. I'm going to take you through everything right here. So the first thing that you have is choosing between the headings and what kind of font size it's going to be. So for example, if you want it to be heading 1, heading 2, etc. Then you have the possibility to align it. So if you want the title to be aligned on the accordion block, I'm just going to keep it as left align. And then you have the possibility to do that for the description as well. Maybe you want it to be paragraph 1, be a little bit bigger, or also follow that style. You can do that right here. Inside here, you also have the possibility to assign width, padding, alignment, and also placement that you can do. I'm just going to keep that as default settings because I like that best, but you can play around with it yourself to see if you like anything better. Then you have the possibility to expand the first item. So let's say, for example, you have a very important point that you want to make out in the first block of the accordion block, and you can click that and you can see that that is going to be how it's going to be seen from the users when they log on to it. You also have the possibility to allow people to open multiple items at once. So Q3, Q3, and Q1 is open at the same time. Usually I just don't like to have that there, but you have the possibility to do that. Then you can choose between the dividers, which are these lines right here. You can choose to toggle them off at all. You can choose between only showing not showing the first one, which is the one here. And you can also choose between, for example, not showing the last, and so on and so on. So you can see that is the first one right there. When I toggle that off, it's not going to show that. Personally, I actually like to not show the first one, but I like to show the last one. So I'm going to do that for this as well. So let's go ahead into divider and turn off show first. Then you can choose between the thickness of it if you want it to be thicker. Then you can choose the opacity for it as well. I'm just going to keep everything at 1 and also the thickness at, let's say, medium for this one. Further down, you have the possibility to change the icon. You can choose between a plus icon or an arrow. Personally, I like the plus icon, but for this video right here, I'm going to stick with the arrow. So let's do that. Then further down, you can choose between the icon size. So if you want that to be large, medium, or small, you can even also specify it yourself, pixels right here. I'm just going to keep it at medium. And then again, the icon thickness, if you want it to be thicker or bold, again, the same setup with small, medium, large, and also defining it yourself, pixels. Then you can choose the icon placement if you want it to be on the left or on the right. Then the row padding, so that's sort of like the padding between the rows. Again, it follows the same sort of like outline there with small, medium, large, and also specifying it yourself with pixels, and also a little bit more options here with the right, bottom, and left as well. Personally, I just like to keep that at medium or small, but you have the possibility to do it what you want. Then you can assign a background to it. So let's say, for example, you want to have like a black color on it, or you want to have a grayish color on it. You can do that. And I find that to be quite useful, and I use it a lot throughout my designs. But for this video right here, I think I'm just going to toggle it off because that looks better. So if you were to, for example, choose the background right here, and you wanted to, let's say, have a green background and you wanted everything to be white, then what you would do is head into site styles right here, into colors, then choose the color palette that you are on or the color schemes, and then find the accordion block. And you can see that you can change between the coloring right here. So for example, for the text and everything right there. But as I said, I'm just going to keep that without a background. So let's head into design again and remove that background. And you can also see here that you have the possibility to add a stroke if you want to have that as well. Furthermore, down here, you have the possibility to add a stroke around it. So that's sort of going to be lines around it if you want to do that. I'm not going to do that myself. You can choose between the normal line and also the line with the little spaces between it. And then finally, you have blend mode, which is sort of like a design tool, which assigns it different styling. I'm also just going to keep that on normal for this one. And then finally, you have the possibility to assign a blur to it, sort of like in the background. But I'm just going to keep everything as is. Moving forward here, you can see that you have the possibility to vertical align it, center align it with inside the block, how you want to do it. You can even also pin it, meaning that it's going to be dragged down when the user drags down. When the users scroll down, it's going to follow down. I'm not going to assign that to it, but it is a good option if you need to do that. And then finally, you can duplicate it and then delete it. So the accordion block is mostly used for frequently asked questions on Squarespace, but you have a lot of other use cases for it as well. And you can be very creative here in how you want to do it. Maybe you want to showcase your team, for example, and you would have, in my case, an image of me here, of Victor, and you can have the title of me. And then you can, for example, have qualifications, and that could be the accordion block where you click it and my qualifications comes up. So we have a lot of possibilities, but at the start of the video, I showed you how I would, for example, create a frequently asked question section. And how I would do that natively on Squarespace is actually adding an accordion block like this. And then, for example, adding a text like this and making the FAQs like that. And then assigning a header, maybe something like this, having it in the middle like that. And you can see that we very easily have created a FAQs section on Squarespace. So that was it for this video. And this video right here, I showed you everything you need to know about the accordion block and also how you can create a quick FAQ section on your Squarespace website. If you find it useful, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want me to build your Squarespace website, the links are down below. And as always, have a great day.